In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at Wager Talk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at Wager Talk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Happy Friday, guys, and welcome on in here to Wager Talk TV. We are happy to have you to close out the week. We are hoping to find some winners for you with 4 games here. Best bets at the end of the show. And Carm, well, he's not doing a 6 and 60 Saturday version. It's a 6 and 60 Friday version here for you guys on the show. So what's the summary of this, start of the show here? Lots of picks for you guys here on a Friday. Speaking of picks, Carm is feeling pretty good about a 5% pick he had yesterday. I'll let him tell you guys a little bit more about that. For me, I had a 1-0 day on the ice with the LA Kings. It did have to go to overtime, but hey, guys, a win is a win. And if you guys are still interested, it's the final day for the PT30 puck time promo there. PT30, take $30 off an all access pass for 7 days using that promo code PT30. Carm, I'll bring you in, man. Happy Friday to you.
Yeah, Andrew. What a Thursday. I'm happy about the Bruins winning in regulation time. I think the gambling gods. I was out with some friends. Final time I'll see these guys because everyone's got the Christmas holidays with their families. But we went out and hit the keg, had some steak, and then went to a place next door, watched the games. And the gambling gods put me down 2-0 early, but then they looked and saw that I also bet the New York Jets. So they said, okay, let's give him the Bruins game, and because he's not going to win the Jets game. So I don't know what I was thinking betting the New York Jets last night. They just stunk it up. But it's a hockey show, so we'll talk about the Bruins. 2-0 hole early on, and I'm like, not liking it at all. They weren't playing well defensively in their own zone, and then they just took the game over like they have all season at home. This team is so tough to beat at home. I'd love to be Kevin Dolan right now holding a 25-1 ticket on the Bruins because they're playing some very good hockey. And of course, the 6 and 60, a couple games have been postponed. I believe the Detroit game is postponed today, and the Buffalo Tampa Bay game has been postponed due to weather. So I'm hoping I can make it through the show because it has just started. The snowstorm has just started here this morning, and there's been some outages in the area. So I'm ready to hotspot if needed, but hopefully, Andrew, we get through this show in one piece.
Let's do it, man. Let's start things off with the Boston Bruins that you just talked about there, a team that is so good at home, but also a great team on the road as well. This is a matchup that we probably all never thought would be the best matchup really in the Eastern Conference so far this season here. The Boston Bruins -120, Devils +100 here, total 6.5, shaded towards the under here in this one. Obviously, we talk about that victory for the Bruins yesterday, coming back, just barely winning in regulation with that comeback down 2 goals. You can never count out the Boston Bruins with the talent and depth that they have. The New Jersey Devils, they beat Florida just a couple days ago, but before that, they did lose a couple straight, including a game to Carolina and the Florida team, the Panthers. So this is a team in the Devils, Carm, that was simply struggling. And now we have to ask ourselves, are they about to go on a run again? Well, they won a bunch of games, and then they lost 6 in a row, and now they've won one again, and it was in pretty convincing fashion. It was a pretty strong victory. But this Bruins team, despite being on the back-to-back here, this is a tough team for you to get going on a run against. I feel like this is going to be one of those games I used to call a kitchen sink game. This is going to be, they're going to be throwing, if you're in New Jersey, you're going to throw everything you possibly can at the Boston Bruins. This is a shots on goal prop type of game for me. Nico Hischier, Jack Hughes, Dougie Hamilton. If you're looking at props, if you're looking at betting on this game, I think if you like the Devils, you like shots on goal. They're number 2 in the league in shots on goal per game, and they're going to have a high shot count against this Boston Bruins team. It's a Friday. I had to mention this. I know some people are probably going to be using this angle where the players are ready for the break. They're ready for the holidays, trying to get rid of things and just get wrapped up with this, pre-break game, I guess, which I think could lead to some sloppiness. So I actually would lean towards the over 6.5 here. But I'm going to just stick with those props. I like Jack Hughes over on his shots on goal, and I like Hamilton over on his shots on goal. And Carm, as we always say, when you're at the keg, when you're at a restaurant, when you're at the bank, they don't ask you, hey, did you win this money from a side or a total? They don't care. The prop bets all cash the same, just like the sides and totals. My favorite bets on this game are the shots on goal props.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the shots on goal prop, so I'm going to rely on you to pick some winners. When I look at this game, I was a Bruins fan yesterday. I'm not a Bruins fan today, so you know where I'm kind of going with this one. It is not a gambling angle, but you guys have heard me all season long talk about a team on a long or big win streak or losing streak that gets a result that goes the other way. I always like to sort of double up on them, and I want to double up on the Devils here. You look at those 6 games that they lost, and look at the teams that they were playing. They're all tough teams at the wrong time for them to be playing them. Admittedly, probably their worst game was the start of that losing streak where the Islanders came in and completely dominated them, even in a 6-4 win. But then they played the Rangers, who were in the midst of a very good run themselves. The Dallas Stars. They drop one to Philadelphia 2-1. That's the outlier on the whole one, but it's a low scoring one. They they lose to the Panthers, who they got the instant revenge on a couple days ago. They lose to the Carolina Hurricanes. So these are all teams that are very good teams that they lost to. But they got the win in Florida. They come home. And what better way for them to go into the Christmas break than doubling up and winning another one off of 6 losses? They get a much-needed victory, and I think they come home and get another victory here. The Bruins, listen, that was a tough game for the Bruins last night. Winnipeg gave them all kinds of trouble. Game finishes 3-2. The Bruins get there, but Winnipeg played a very good road-type game in Boston and came out on the wrong end of a 3-2 defeat. I'm going to take New Jersey at home. It's very rare you're going to be able to find the Devils at home where they're not favored. And here they are. They're at even money. I see some 105s out there. I get it. Ullmark's in net tonight because Swayman started yesterday. Swayman is now 7-0 at home for the Bruins. Hasn't lost a game at home, but then the Bruins don't lose games at home. Give me the New Jersey Devils here, minus 105 or even money, whatever you get them at.
Well, and like you mentioned, I mean, the Winnipeg Jets, they gave it all they had, and they had a really good start to their game, which means the Bruins had a poor start. If they have a poor start against the Devils, well, I don't know if they'll be able to play catch up. I don't know if they're going to be able to respond and tie things up as easily. But that was a great game yesterday, and I think that the Devils, maybe I'd be interested in even a first period play here with the Devils to come out on top out the gate, to score the first goal, to get started with a really good start to their game. But Carmine, looking at the Devils here, I'm looking at shots on goal props, especially with Jack Hughes over 3.5 shots on goal, guys. I promise that I'll start mentioning these again, the shots on goal and the different props. I think, Carm, people really like it when we talk about the props on the show. I didn't really know. I was kind of unsure if people like the stuff, but then it's kind of like when you stop doing something, you never hear about people saying they like it when you're doing it. It's only when you stop doing it, people are like, hey, what happened to those props? So we'll try and start mentioning them again.
And you should, Andrew, because even last year you had a phenomenal year with the props. I joined in towards the end. And at the beginning of the season, I was giving out some shot props. The reason I stopped was because of the sort of the juice tolerance thing. All the props that I liked, the 9 or 10 players that I was keen on and constantly making money, Andrew, as you know, the books just started to juice those plays from 125, 130, which is still a high number, to they start to go to 160, 170. I don't want to give you guys a minus 170 play on a shot prop or 180 because if I hit a small stretch where I go like 2-5 or 2-6, you guys are going to lose some money, and I'm not going to feel good about that. So as I either got to look at other options in the prop market or wait for some of that juice to start coming back down, kind of like what you did, Andrew, with a couple of players where they priced you out of the market, and then that those players didn't hit and the price started to come down, and then you jumped back on them and started winning. So kudos to you for doing that.
It's kind of funny how when those players, their numbers went up, they started to lose. So, they move them up to 3.5 and they don't hit their prop, which is interesting. One of my new favorites is definitely the save prop. So anybody out there, check that one out, the save prop for goaltenders. Let's talk about the Florida Panthers and New York Islanders here for tonight. We have Florida listed as minus 135, the Islanders plus 115. Total here 6.5, puck line minus 1.5, plus 190 here for the Panthers. Look, this is a Panthers team that I talked about at the start of the week, a team that I'm looking to bet on, team that I'm looking to make some money on. But here's the thing, Carm. I gave out this team as a team to bet on. Look, I a lot of times will do my buy and sell, and I'll find teams that have a really easy schedule for the rest of the week and tell people, whether you're betting puck line, team totals, regulation, you can make some money betting on this team or betting against their bad teams they're going to play. I took a shot with the Florida Panthers this week, thinking that we would get some pretty solid prices, whether it's against the Bruins, the Devils, now here against the Islanders. I got to, put my money where my mouth is. I got to back things up. I got to try and go out swinging here and take the Florida Panthers one more time. Look, this is a team that I honestly don't think has been playing bad hockey, despite what their record might say, despite what the L next to some of their games might dictate. I think they're a better hockey club than the Islanders. I feel like the Islanders are still dealing with some injuries that has definitely affected them. And you take a look really at their goal production. It's on and off. It's inconsistent, and they do allow goals as well. So I think Florida is going to come into this one heavily motivated, well rested, and get the job done. You remember, like I said, the last game that they played, Florida, was against New Jersey. So now they're playing the Islanders on the road. There's not much travel going on for them. They've been sitting around waiting. I think this is the game the Panthers get it done. What about you?
Yeah, I would likely lean that way if this total stays at where it is right now at 6.5 and doesn't hit 6. I'm gonna likely take the under. Bobrovsky is confirmed. Sorokin started yesterday, but he's likely going to start again at home. So if he is in goal, I'm gonna lean to the under. Listen, Sorokin's a good goalie, but the guy is, you look at his numbers, his goals against average is 2.44. which is a really good number, and yet he's like 10 and 11, I think, if you don't factor in the games to go to OT. And he's 1-6 his last 7 games in goal, and it's not because he's bad; it's because they're not scoring for him. So if you get the Panthers, if the Panthers put in 3 tonight, that might actually be enough to win this game. Andrew, 3 probably gets you there. 4 definitely gets you there, because I just don't see the Islanders beating the Florida Panthers in a 5-4 type game. So I like your Panthers bet, and but if I get this total at 6.5, I'm going under the number here.
Hard to blame you for that, and it's something we hope we can get there with the 6.5 based on the production we've seen offensively, and let's be honest too. I think Florida wants to play a better defensive game. I can't argue that that's definitely hurt them recently, but they have played some really good hockey teams as well. So you and I can both agree the Islanders are certainly a step down from what the Bruins and the Devils bring to the table. So we'll see what they can do tonight. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche here as they take on the Nashville Predators. Speaking of teams that can't score, well, it's pretty much all I've said lately in my analysis about the Nashville Predators is that they cannot score. They are a team that struggles to find the back of the net. And when they do, it's usually against teams that are very poor defensively, like the Edmonton Oilers, like the Chicago Blackhawks. Other than that, against teams that play pretty well defensively, they don't score many goals. But here's the deal. Colorado is still dealing with all their injuries. They've still got really important players out, and it's affected them big time. I said before that a lot of times when you see these big key pieces go out, you see unders. And stupidly enough, I have looked at overs with the Colorado Avalanche. They're minus 120 tonight, Nashville plus 100, totals 5.5 again. And Carm, I have just been banging my head against the wall in my house after I take 5.5s to the over these days. I feel like I tweeted out the other day and got a pretty good response from people. These 5.5s are 5.5s for a reason. I think when you see a really low total in the NFL and everyone's like, well, that seems a little bit low, it's probably low for a reason. It's been bugging me because I've been saying, you know what, this Colorado team, they're still a very deep team. They're a good team without these star players. Maybe they aren't as good as I thought they were because they aren't scoring goals without those players like McInnis and Landeskog and stuff. So it's been frustrating for me. But let's put it this way. They're off a win, but it was a win that didn't look very good in against Montreal. Nashville plus 100. Do you think this is a spot where Nashville can, at home, go ahead against this Colorado team that's so talented but without some key players and get the upset? Or is minus 120 a good enough price or you're going to take the favorite here?
Yeah, I don't want to take the favorite here. Listen, I get it, what you're saying with Colorado, and you would think it's a very good buy low price. They're winning these games and they're low scoring games. The difference between these two teams is and not getting any goal production is you've got McKinnon and Landeskog out for Colorado. It's a big part of their team. They've got some injuries, so they've had to find a different way of winning games, and it's playing better defensively. When these two teams played like 6 days ago or whatever it was, and it was a 3-1 game for the Avs, the shots on goal were 30-26. That's nowhere near what a normal and healthy Colorado Avalanche game is. And then you've got Nashville, and the problem there is in taking Nashville against a team that's playing very well defensively right now is if they don't get the offensive output, they're just not going to win games. And this is the thing. I'm still kicking myself. I'm not banging my head like you are, but I'm still kicking myself for that. Talking about how the St. Louis Blues and Nashville had played 5 straight games where they averaged 9 goals, and I like the over in that game. And it finished 1-0 in a shootout, I think, in that game. What was I thinking there? So maybe I should go on concussion protocol. But with that said, I get it. The total's 5.5 here. I'm gonna lean to the under. You've got the Avs are 7-0-1 their last 8 games to the under, and there's a reason for it. They've got offensive players out of the lineup, and they've found a different way to play hockey. It is what you do. You adjust. It's not the next man up. It is the next system up, it seems, with the Avs. They're just playing some very good defense right now, and they're getting wins while not healthy. When this team gets their players back and into that lineup, and they can roll out 3 or 4 lines and start getting that scoring and secondary scoring, they're going to be scary good again. And this is why they're obviously the Cup champions, and they could very well be the Cup champions again this year if they continue on the pace that they're at. So give me the under.
It's hard to blame you for that one, Carm. Today on the show on Prop It Up before puck time, I decided that for my secondary segment, I wanted to talk about futures. Take a look at the future board right now. We still have the Colorado Avalanche are plus 550 to win the Stanley Cup. Just right below them, you've got the Bruins at plus 500 to win the Stanley Cup. So despite some injuries and despite a couple of things going on with this Avalanche team, they're still at, plus 550 to win the entire thing, which is very, very impressive. And you're right about how they've adapted a new style. I'm just very disappointed in myself for not recognizing that right away. And I think it's a lesson for all of us because I've used this for other teams. I just didn't think that it would be applicable, Carm, for the Avalanche because they have a lot of depth. But it goes to show, I think it's a really strong point you make there, and I just want to reiterate it because the coaching staff is what dictates how these guys are playing. I feel like people don't understand that in hockey, they have systems, they have formations, they have certain things that they're doing on the ice that people that are watching at home might not realize is actually planned. You know, in hockey and basketball, you see a pick and roll, a guy getting the ball on the block, a guy swinging around the screen. You know what's going on. But in hockey, it's a lot harder to tell if there's a plan out there. And I'm telling you, guys, Karma's exactly right. These guys are playing a different style of hockey. They're almost playing like the Dallas Stars played last year. You know, they get up a goal. They have good goaltending. They're playing back a little bit, which is good. Quick prop actually for that game. Watch out for Evan Rodriguez, guys. Rodriguez is playing really, really well. Yesterday, I mentioned on the show Tyler Toffoli. He scored a goal. My prop for you guys today, as far as a goal scorer, is going to be Evan Rodriguez. So check him out. Let's get into the last game here. Carmen, I'm going to throw it right over to you with the St. Louis Blues, Vegas Golden Knights. What are your thoughts here on this matchup?
Andrew, this came about this close, my friend. Holding up my fingers there somewhere. You guys can eventually see them. There we are. This close to almost being a banana in the tailpipe type of game. So you know where I'm going with here, but it's not. So don't take it as one. But let me tell you, the St. Louis Blues, it's been a very good road trip for them, but it was a bad scheduling spot for them, and they went into Seattle, and they lost that game. But they want to end this trip off on a good note. Like, this is a team that went in, swept the two teams in Alberta. They did the Alberta double. And then you would think at that point they would throw a flat one in Vancouver, and they didn't. They win that one, but then head to Seattle in what I thought was a bad spot for them. And I played the total on that one and got fortunate and hit the total on that one. But I think Vegas is good at home. But listen, Vegas hasn't been playing well of late, as I see it on the ice. The sniff test or the eye test for me on Vegas is that there's a little bit of regression on this team, for a team that's like number one in the West, and I think number one home record, I think, in the West. So trying to fade a team on those numbers is always tough. But the Blues play the type of game that they can easily go into Vegas and get a result, and they're good plus money here. I think it's for plus 145, and that's where I'm going here. It's not a banana in the tailpipe, but it was pretty close. It's not quite ripe yet, Andrew, but I'm still going to take the St. Louis Blues to win tonight's game at plus money.
Hey, who doesn't love a plus price like that? It's a great number, and it's a team that, like in the Vegas Golden Knights, that could get caught off guard, could be a little unfocused here. I'm just going to look towards the over in this game, actually. I think we could see goals, and you see the total is actually shaded towards the under. Look, the Arizona Coyotes created plenty of chances against Vegas. Those guys just couldn't finish their chances. If you put the St. Louis Blues players in those exact same scenarios, Carm, I'll tell you what, those guys are tapping the puck in. They're going top corner. They're finishing off those plays. This is a Blues team that has almost been messing with the odds makers all year long, and us as handicappers, because we don't know if they're good or not. We don't know what they are. All we know is that this St. Louis Blues team is a team that is capable of being good. They have great players. It's a matter of if they can string it together or not. So I'm going to look towards the over. I don't trust either team's defense on a nightly basis. I think we could see them get up and over probably early in this game. And a lot of it has to do with shot count, and power plays. Both teams with very dangerous power plays, subpar to average penalty kills. So how about a high-scoring St. Louis Blues victory to make some money for both Carm and I on this game, guys? I'll look for the over. Carm, let's cash a ticket on that one, though. I'm going to ride with you on the St. Louis Blues because that is a great, great price there. And again, this is a team that I just think the odds makers have not figured out quite yet in the St. Louis Blues, and we continue to get really good plus prices on them. I can't wait for January handicapping and February in the NHL, because this is the time where you try and catch some of these teams that are underrated and try and ride those streaks. You think back to like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, St. Louis Blues, January 1st, they were dead last in their conference or near the bottom, I think, and all of a sudden they win the Stanley Cup a few months later. So we'll see if we can find a team like that for next year. But Carm, we have a segment here, not a 6 and 60 for Saturday, but you have some games you want to rapid fire for us here for today, some games that we haven't talked about just quite yet.
Yeah, we're going to do the 16-16 in a second. Our regular producer, Dan, is not around. I think he's doing a vigil outside of Jalen Hurts' house with a little candle, flowers, teddy bear. He wants him healthy and back soon. But until then, Joe Ranieri and Eric are holding down the fort for us. So we're going to do a Friday 6 and 60. It's our normal 6 and 60, but it's for tonight's games. A couple of them we've already discussed. But with that said, let's hit that shot clock. All right. Bruins in New Jersey. Devils finally stopped a 6-game losing streak. I'm going to look for them to double up against a Bruins team that played a tough one last night. New Jersey minus 105. Winnipeg and Washington. The market has moved on this game since the opener. Riddick in goal, and I really like the Caps tonight, so let's take them at minus 160. Relate some juice there. Colorado and Nashville. Avs 7-0-1 to the under the last 8 games. These two teams played to a 3-1 game 6 days ago. Take the under 5.5. Vancouver and Edmonton. Oilers 12-2 their last 14 over the total. The Canucks also 12-2 their last 14 on the road over the total and averaging 4.67 goals per game on this 5-game road winning streak of theirs. So over 6.5. St. Louis and Vegas. I told you St. Louis plus 145. You guys know why. And then we're going to finish it with Calgary and Anaheim. Flames lost as expected to the Kings, but I look for them to bounce back in regulation. Flames minus 130 in regulation. That's your 6 and 60.
Great stuff there, Carm. Awesome picks there. And just at the buzzer, I loved hearing Joe in my ear give you the 10 seconds. It's almost like in basketball when the ref says 10, 5 seconds on the clock. You just made it. Great stuff there. And I'll definitely be looking at those plays after the show and seeing what I like, seeing what I'm looking at, going head-to-head with you on. But some great stuff there, Carmen. Always some great little quick stats and information. So yesterday, I decided to have the same best bet as you, even though it was a big slate. You and I both cashed it with our best bets. That was also a very sweaty game, Carm, with the Washington Capitals. They went head-to-head with the Ottawa Senators. That was a good one. Today, I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers for my best bet, a team that I've been hyping up all week. Haven't lived up to my expectations, but guess what, guys? They played 2 really solid teams, the Devils and the Bruins. I feel like tonight, against the Islanders, they will show up. They will be ready, and they want to end this little, pre-holiday week on a really good note, before they have a little bit of a couple-day break. And I think that they're capable of it. I think it's a really friendly price here. And like Carm mentioned, the Islanders struggled to score, and the Panthers can put up 3 or 4 like it's nobody's business. I feel like if they do that, the Islanders will not be able to compete against them. This is a motivated Panthers team. Give me Florida at minus 135 for my best bet here. I've got 2 plays going today in the NHL for my clients. And guys, that is one of them. So you just got 1 client play there. The rest of the weekend, you guys can check out Carm and I both at wagertalk.com, of course. And Carm, that promo code PT30, last day for it. Take $30 off a 7-day all-access pass. Let's hear what your best bet is for tonight, Carm.
Yeah. So first off, before I give you my show best bet, Andrew mentioned the promo code. I want to thank, especially with the holidays here, and this is our last show prior to Christmas. I want to thank all of you guys who tune in on a regular basis to Wager Talk TV and to the Puck Time Show and all of our other shows. We love you guys in the chat. You guys share information. You never go at each other. It is such a great community that you guys have built for us. And along with us, and even your comments after the videos are posted, we try to get to as many as possible. So we want to wish whatever holiday you celebrate at this time of the year, I'll just put it all together and wish you all a happy holidays. Now, with that said, the last game of the 6 and 60 was the Calgary Flames in regulation time. That's going to be my show best bet. I thought it was a bad spot for them in LA last night. Andrew was smart enough to put that out as a play. I didn't, so kudos to him. But I think they bounce back here. We see Markstrom in goal tonight. Vidar started last night. Markstrom in goal. Get them in regulation time, minus 130, and that's your show best bet.
Great stuff there. Calgary in regulation at minus 130, a bounce back spot for them right away. They get a chance to, get back in the win column tonight. And I just want to reiterate what Carmine just said there. I enjoy doing this show. We have a lot of fun together, Carmine and I, and all of our great guests. I want to thank them for joining us all week. It was a great week of shows. And all of you guys, just happy holidays. Have a lot of fun, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're celebrating. Have fun with your family and friends. Be safe. Call an Uber. No drinking and driving. We want to see you guys back here next week in our live chat. So guys, happy holidays, take care, and best of luck.
In the spirit of the holidays, we want you to celebrate with your favorite Wager Talk or Sports Memo handicappers and do it at a discount by giving you a one-time 25% off everything you can fit into your cart between now and midnight on December 25th using coupon code GIFT25 when checking out. While this coupon can only be used once at Wager Talk and once at Sports Memo, the value is unlimited and there is no limit on what you can add to your cart when redeeming. Daily, all access, season, pick your team, and even mix and match handicappers as the combinations are endless. Remember, there is no limit to the number of handicappers at Wager Talk and Sports Memo you can lock in, but coupon code GIFT25 will expire at midnight on Christmas. On behalf of everyone at Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and Gold Sheet, we want to thank you for supporting us in 2022 by watching our videos, following us on social media, and trusting us with your wagers. However you celebrate, we wish everyone a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.